Oh, look, fans, it's another video by JasonBlaha, bro, for us to react to. Unbelievable, man. It's Team On, and we're going to react to this video by JasonBlaha. The gym, lifting, recruiting, fitness, gear slave himself, bro. Yes, man. The bomba clot himself, man. JasonBlaha, man. Yeah, man. The Rasta Cloud man says, time under tension isn't that important. Okay. I don't know, man. Everything seems to be important. You know, here's the funny thing. Everything works until it stops working. People freak out. You know what I mean? Some things take a little bit longer and some things a little bit shorter, but everything works in the beginning. And then it stops working. And they freak out and they can't figure out how to make it keep working. So they end up staying there like a lifting slave, trying to eke out a different outcome. And the outcome's always a zero for the next 30 years.
Time under tension is essentially a nonsense concept. Hey everybody, it's JasonBlaha here.
It's not a concept and it's not nonsense. It's something they posted for a reason in science. They use it in science. Time under tension. It means exactly what they say. Time under tension. See what I mean? There's time and it's under tension. Why? Because it's not relieving the tension.
I would chat with you guys and gals a little bit about this today.
Yeah, sure.
And when I say this, I am not saying that time under tension doesn't matter. I want to be clear. What I'm saying is what people have started.
So here's the thing. How do you know half of those weights aren't fake? He could be just playing with everybody on this channel. I mean, one of the plates could be real, right? And the rest, the last three or whatever there, are fake. You understand me? He could fake anything, Blaha. He's not stupid. He's recruiting lifting slaves. Why would he? If he was smart enough, he wouldn't have to lift this heavy weight all the time and just fool you. You put the heaviest weight at the end to make the bar bend. You put the heaviest weight at the end of the bar. You put the fake weights at the front. Get it? Front load, offloading. Even a deadlift. Man, come on. Lifts have been faked for eons online now. Since YouTube came out and people have been posting videos. There's so much shit about fake weights. There's people in gyms doing fake weights. It's not uncommon. You know what I mean?
Calling time under tension training is basically just rehashing old stuff that's not based on anything that never really worked.
Training? I never heard of time under tension being a training, but okay, time under tension.
And just concepts that guys use who use large amounts of gear just to do something different. And I really do mean
just concept guys use who take tons and tons of gear. Everybody has to take gear according to Blaha. He just did a live, right? And he's calling out, like, what is it? Alex Leonidas. He thinks he's somebody now. Hey, he's becoming brave now, man. The old man is becoming brave, bro. He's talking shit on the video. He's unblocked all the people now, and he's like, let it out. I'm feeling good. Why is he feeling good? Because he has no clients no more? No, he's like, as long as the views come in. I'll tell you why he unblocked all you guys. You guys are crazy for watching his videos. I'll tell you what. You should watch my videos when I do videos on him, because I'm selective as to the video that I'm picking. I don't watch his shitty videos, get it? And I never watch them twice. I only ever do a video once on the video. I've never watched it before, and then I comment. That's it. I react. That's it. I don't watch his videos. I'm not promoting him. I don't give him views, nothing. Just a one-time video. I record over it at the same time, and that's it. And I always give it a thumbs down, because why would I give him a thumbs up for? Why?
And I'm not saying none of it even works. I'm just saying that
he needs views. He said in his video, the live feed, he said, I need views.
Just personal preference. It doesn't do anything.
You want to know what's funny? He got, in the last 4 hours, he got over 734 views on that video, the Alex Leonidas one, bro. He gets more views on the live now. Because he knows he needs views, bro. He needs money. He's broke. $200. He's looking for clients. 3 slots open. $200, bro.
And we need to understand that it really isn't that big of a deal. And am I saying that the time?
What was that? Are you talking to me, Blaha? No, I don't give a shit, man. I don't believe anything that you're doing here. The gear, the fake weights, whatever you're doing here, it's all fake.
Under tension is not any factor at all. Of course, I'm not saying that. Obviously, we're not getting jacked off of just doing one rep. Okay.
You're getting jacked because you're eating slave food and you're pretending. That's what.
Obviously, we need training volume.
You're pretend jacked.
Off of just doing one rep. Okay.
Blaha's pretend jacked.
Obviously, we need training volume. But what we need to understand, it is literally nothing to do with the tension time.
Again, volume. That has nothing to do with bodybuilding. I just told you. Volume is for performing slaves. You understand me? People that are performing. You understand me? That's not bodybuilding. Bodybuilding is not a sport. It's not based on performance or endurance at all whatsoever. Serious bodybuilding is based on progressive overload, which is overload eccentric. That's how you overload the eccentric. You don't overload a concentric. The concentric is pushing, it's going in the opposite direction. How can you overload concentric if it's going above fucking whatever. It's going up against gravity. It's going against gravity. It's not going with gravity. If something's going with gravity, that means loading. People are really dumb out there. Like Blaha, he's dumb. Progressive overload is the driver of hypertrophy. It fucking sure is. When it comes to eccentric, because it causes damage, and then the damage repairs and remodels, and you get muscle fibers, and you get bigger and stronger. Yeah, of course it is. Of course it is. But only if the muscle is able to get another adaptation. If you can't get another adaptation in your eccentric exercise, then you've wasted your time. What was the point of going there? You understand me? Your exercise was frivolous and vexatious. It was a waste of time. Why are you going to the gym? To get bigger and stronger. Wasn't that the goal we all had when we were young? We wanted to be big and strong. We want to be jacked and shit and strong. I know. You all wanted to get you gave up because you all gave up because you got the newbie gains and you didn't know how to keep them going. And then you have all these excuses. It's a genetic limit. It's actually an MND size limit. You don't understand what that means. It means when it gets an adaptation, it gives you an influx of these nuclei, but they only give you so many in that hypertrophic response. Get it? There's only so many there. So what do you have to do? Get another adaptation. So it's not a genetic limit. It's an MND size limit per adaptation. It's a limit per adaptation. Get it, dude? Yeah, man.
When we are talking about stimulating muscle growth, you were talking about creating fatigue through mechanical tension.
Creating fatigue through mechanical tension? Hypertrophy? What kind of hypertrophy work is this then? Sarcoplasmic? This is sarcoplasmic training. If you're doing fatigue, I told you before, high volume fatigue and all that shit is sarcoplasmic hypertrophy, bro. Look, man. Do I have to bring this up one more time for people to understand? Because there's really a lot of dumb people out there, I tell you. Ay, ay, ay. Carajo. 6 weeks. Right there. See that? PubMed. Muscle fiber hypertrophy in response to 6 weeks of high volume resistance training. Anything that you're doing high volume is what? Resistance training is endurance, and it's based on performance. Performance endurance. It's like a sport. I don't know how to explain this. Yeah, because you're loading what's sarcoplasmic? Glycogen. It's what is it? An energy source. So if glycogen is an energy source, you see this, it says high volume resistance training in trained young men is largely attributed to sarcoplasmic hypertrophy. Why is that? Why is the muscles attributed to sarcoplasmic hypertrophy? Why not myofibrillar growth? Why not? So that's a displacement. People will tell you online, they'll say, oh, you can't get one that so much more than the other. Like this one's gonna get bigger and the other one's not going to. Oh yes it will. Oh yes it is. All of you are getting that. You're not building does it say myofibrillar hypertrophy? No. It says sarcoplasmic. What part do you not understand? Volume training is associated with performance and endurance. And if it's endurance, if it's volume, it's endurance, it's sarcoplasmic. What is that? An energy source. It's to make you a good lifting slave. To make you an endurance slave, you fool. To make you a good endurance slave. Christ. You gotta be stupid not to understand that shit, man. Christ, man. Where's that video? This always happens.
You deserve a bang.
That's what we're talking about. And that doesn't necessarily mean heavy weight. It means
Mechanical tension in the muscle fibers you want to grow, but they're not growing.
you can create enough exhaustion with a lighter weight that you get to the upper threshold fibers and fatigue them.
You don't fatigue them. Oh, man. It has to be very high intensity. The intensity has to be with veracity. You have to tackle the weights with veracity, high and duration. There's duration there, a long period of time going on there. There's duration in this intensity. I can't explain it. It's something you have to try yourself in the gym. You have to focus on the eccentric. You're still getting concentric. It may not be full. Sometimes it can be full. I don't know. It depends on what you want to do there. But if it's completely full, here's the problem. Here's the problem with eccentric, concentric. If you're doing a full concentric, just remember when you're lowering the weight, it'll be too light. So a real concentric exercise means that you can't do it for a full concentric. That means it's heavy enough. So it's heavy to the point where you can only bring it up so far, but it can't go all the way to the top. That's the point. So many people in the gym, if you watch them, they do concentric exercises and they only bring it halfway down. They don't really bring it all the way down for a full eccentric because it's uncomfortable. Your body's doing that. You don't even realize it. Your brain is sending a signal. It doesn't want to do a full eccentric because it knows that it'll damage the muscle fiber. So it's preventing you from damaging it. And everywhere you look in these boards and science and everywhere, they tell you to avoid that damage. But if you avoid that damage, then you can't grow any muscles. Get it? You understand me? Yeah, it compromises performance. It's not good to have it in sports. Many people get DOMs. They get this damage in sports and blah, 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 and it fucks up their performance. You definitely don't want it in sports. So you want to get many adaptations in muscle growth so that whatever sport that you're doing there, you don't get damaged. That's the whole point. The point is not to get damaged, and the point is not to get injuries either. So this will actually make you stronger, and you're less susceptible to ever getting injuries in any part of your body if you go through these bouts of injuries, of these micro injuries. Yeah, man. It has so many benefits, bro. Bodybuilding has so many benefits, you have no clue. It's associated with regeneration, longevity, and a bunch of stuff if you get real muscle fibers. But if you get sarcoplasmic and all that, then these phony muscles, phony drugs, phony things, phony lifts, whatever, that's not associated with any of those specific things that can make you live longer, avoid the hay flick, and get rid of senescent cells, myogenic decline, and a bunch of things. So bodybuilding is associated with the removal of senescent cells, myogenic decline, regeneration, new muscle fibers, new cells, a whole bunch of stuff. Get it? It does a lot for you. Do you believe it or not? It just does a lot, man.
But there's a very simple way that we do that. It's called by doing reps. Okay, let me be clear on that.
But doing reps.
That can occur.
Eccentric is king. It's king when it comes to building muscle, bro, and getting bigger and stronger. It is superior to concentric in every way.
By simply getting close to muscle failure.
Because concentric is fake strength, bro. It's based on nervous system. It's based on something you can't see. It's fake. You understand me? It's fake.
That's it. That's all that's required. Or going to muscle failure. That'll do it.
Going to muscle failure, that will do it. Well, if that doesn't work, then we got muscle failure. If that doesn't work, we got fatigue. And if that doesn't work, well, I don't know. We'll figure out something.
Right? Whether that's 6 reps or 12 reps or 20 reps.
Yeah, 6 reps, 10 reps, or 20 reps. We'll figure it out. Sure, yeah.
Well, the concept is pretty much the same. Because what are we trying to do? What are we attempting to do to stimulate muscle?
I don't know. What are you trying to do? Oh, you're attempting to stimulate muscle. How do you stimulate muscle?
Growth. We need to. How
do you stimulate muscle growth? Bodybuilding is used to stimulate muscle growth, not powerlifting, because it's a sport. It's endurance. It's fucking performance, and so are these other sports. But bodybuilding is not a sport. It's there to build your body big and strong. So how do you stimulate muscle growth with bodybuilding? Because that's what it's really meant for. How do you do that exactly? See what I mean? Why aren't you building? Here's the question. If real bodybuilding builds muscles big and strong and whatever, then what does powerlifting do? Right? Are you trying to convince me that powerlifting, which is a sport, builds muscles? Bodybuilding's not a sport. So you're trying to convince me that a sport builds a muscle. You have to be fucking retarded, man, to believe that shit, bro. And you trying to convince me of that shit, that a sport builds a muscle, is even more crazy. I can prove everything on my channel. I can destroy channels. I could destroy channels with the information I bring out. I always post it in my community section. You know me. I make some videos on it. I can destroy any fitness guru out there. I don't care if they have a doctorate, a doctor, whatever the fucking thing they have. Anybody's out there, I can destroy them. I can destroy them with all the information, everything. I just fucking pile it on top of them and they just fucking, it destroys them. They go away. They even run away from my channel. They don't like my channel because the truth hurts, bro. They can't stand the truth. They try to tell me, oh, progressive overload, that's associated with concentric. Then I post it in my community section, and then they write me, and then they go, oh, I thought progressive overload was based on concentric. How can something overloading your body be based on concentric? That's going in the opposite direction. That's not overloading. What are you talking about?
Recruit a muscle fiber, and we need to recruit it enough times.
We need to recruit a muscle fiber enough times. How do you recruit a muscle fiber? You don't recruit it. You damage it.
That it's fatigued and stops recruiting.
What? Fatigued? Self-recruiting because it fatigued? Eh?
When we have to apply tension to do that, right? That is where we get a growth stimulus. When you
Fatiguing a muscle fiber doesn't activate the satellite cell to split, divide, and increase in number. Donates nuclei and stuff. The nuclei, they repair things. Those nuclei, they're made to repair. Yeah, they're stem cells. So I don't understand what the fuck he's talking about. What is he talking about? What is he talking about? Only micro damages will activate the satellite cell. Fatigue doesn't do anything in the muscles. Fatigue just exhausts you. You might grab some more of that glycogen there, Blaha. For every gram of glycogen, 3 grams of water. Draw between the skin and muscle into the muscle, dudeski.
take a muscle fiber and
building those fake sarcoplasmic artificial muscles. Yeah, bro.
Exhaust it to the point where it doesn't recruit.
So exhaust it to the point where it doesn't recruit muscle fibers, and then it's going to build. Is that it? It's going to build magically without these nuclei. Oh, okay.
Okay, that's a real good start.
Yeah.
Okay.
Look, you need nuclei to support further muscle growth, but he wants to convince you that that you're going to fatigue a muscle and it's going to magically grow, bro. Get it? Yeah. Sure.
Good start. That's a good way to make a muscle fiber grow. Okay.
That's a good way to make a muscle fiber grow, by fatiguing it. Well, let's see. What grows a muscle fiber? Let's see. Yes, additional nuclei can support further muscle growth. Myonuclei are cells that control centers. Muscles nuclei are responsible for building and maintaining muscle fibers. More nuclei means more protein production. Muscle fibers with more nuclei can produce more protein, which leads to stronger muscles. So how do you get these nuclei? Where do they come from? Who gives them to you? Nuclei gained during training persist. Nuclei gained through training can remain even when muscle cells shrink. These myonuclei can help muscles grow faster, more than, of course, they shrink, then they get bigger or something. If they do shrink, I don't know. Nuclei can help muscles regain past strength. They can help you, to a degree. If you lose the nuclei, you can lose a lot. I've lost a lot for sure. If you lose some, your strength can go too. That's why natural lifting, natural strength, natural muscles make you stronger, because it enhances your performance. These nuclei, it says here, nuclei help muscles regain past strength. That lifting strength you call lifting strength. How does it do that? By building muscles. If you build your muscles, they get bigger and stronger, then of course the strength is there. You're going to be stronger, right? Nuclei are essentially permanent. Once acquired, a myonucleus is essentially permanent. It is permanent to a degree, but eventually with time, they become dismantled. Your body will eat them. You know what I mean? If you don't live for a very, very, very long time. Physiologists had thought that a single nucleus supported a certain volume of cell. It does. As a muscle cell grew, it needed more nuclei to support that extra volume. But as a muscle shrinks from lack of use, it gets rid of those unnecessary extra nuclei. Yeah, that's what I discovered. The idea was you exercise a muscle and it changes. Yeah, it changes. You know, it does a bunch of stuff, but yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Let's see. I thought a map would show up here. Hold on a second. I have it in my community. It's in my community section. You need nuclei to support further muscle growth. I don't need that. You need it to support further muscle growth. Look. I've posted it in here. I don't like to keep looking for it all the time. Let's see if I can find it. There it is. The myonuclear domain, MND size limit, is the point of which additional nuclei are required to support further muscle growth. What does it say? The point of which additional nuclei are required to support further muscle growth. That means that after you reach the adaptation, the first time you got some damage, you reached an MND size limit. Okay, so what do you need? You need another donation. How do you do that? By getting another adaptation. The MND is the area of a muscle fiber where a single myonucleus controls transcriptional activity. The MND size limit is not fixed. Why would it be fixed? It's based on adaptation, so of course it's not fixed, and can vary depending on the muscle size, metabolic demands, and functional demands. Yeah, definitely. So you have to eat a lot. It's based too on the size. It's based on lots of things. The functioning demands. These functioning demands. So the functional demands have to be extremely high. In the eccentric form, you need progressive overload. If you don't progressively overload the eccentric form, then it's not going to do anything. That's why your exercises are frivolous. You're exercising in the gym. You're lifting weights, but you're all like Blaha lifting. You're just doing the same weights. It's like nonsensically lifting. You're not thinking about what you're getting there, what you're doing. You have to overload on the eccentric a lot. You don't even have to focus a lot on the concentric. It's not a necessity. Of course, unless you want to be a lifting slave, like if you want to be a performer, then keep doing those beautiful partial, what do you call it? Concentric lifts, because that's what you're doing there. Just keep doing those, and you definitely won't get what you're looking for, any muscle or anything like that. You're going to get bigger and stronger. You're not going to increase your natural strength. You'll always be skinny and weak. You just think you're strong. And when you get old, you're going to be nothing. Nothing. That, or you're going to be a lifting slave the rest of your life in the gym, trying to maintain something that's elusive. It's based on nervous system. You know what I mean? And then eventually you're all going to take some steroids or drugs or anything to keep pushing that weight. Because you don't have any natural strength, because you never built any muscle, like Blaha. He has no muscle.
How about if you do it several more times in the same workout? Even better.
Yeah.
Rest a few minutes and do another set. That's how this is achieved.
Sure.
But people want to overcomplicate some of these concepts. And here's the problem with it.
Here's the problem with it, guys. What's the problem, Blaha?
Sometimes we shortchange that. And people will take a very simple concept to apply, a very complicated process in the body. We start talking Hiram's principle, rate coding, all that. That gets very complicated. It's actually fairly simple in the real world. Okay?
Yeah, it's very simple. Get a donation of these nuclei. It'll support further muscle growth. There you go. That's how simple it is.
You want to get to those muscle fibers, you want to recruit them?
But here's the problem. See, it's really easy. Just get these nuclei and boom. But the question is, how do you get them? Wow. It's a lot of work, bro. So when these guys say you have to work harder than the last time, you have to work a lot smarter and harder at the last time. But you don't have to work hard the entire week. You only have to work really hard on the day. You understand me? You have to work really hard on that day when you come in the gym. And then the rest of the week, just let your body take care of it. Your body will repair and remodel them bigger and stronger. And the rest of the week, you can enjoy eating. Eating food. Lots of food. Good food, bro. Get it? Yeah.
Really hard set. That's it. You'll get there. Right? Now,
Well, you'll still make it even on the slave food if you have to do that. I don't know. On the slave food, bro.
obviously, certain exercises are only going to fully work the fibers in certain parts of the muscle. Okay?
Certain exercises only do that? Come on, Blaha.
Certain ranges of motion or movements of the joints, because really, is that a different exercise? Right? That's a different exercise. If you do a half rep versus a full rep, that is a completely different exercise. So it's really the same thing as us saying two different exercises.
A half rep to a full rep? A half rep to a full rep? You're doing half reps. You're not doing full reps.
Right? They're going to have a little different.
The only difference is concentric is not associated with building muscles. It actually burns them out. It's the eccentric that actually builds muscles. That's what builds muscle.
Bias in the muscle, sure. But setting those individual biases aside.
Community section, if you don't believe me, I just posted some stuff there. Read it. Eccentric exercise builds muscle. Builds muscle.
The idea is the same for any given exercise. Any given exercise, the best thing that you can do is to just do a really hard set with a normal tempo, under some degree of control.
Again, bodybuilding is not powerlifting, and it's not strongman. It's not any of these sports. Bodybuilding is not a sport, bro. Get it? But it can be carried over to every sport once you build your body big and strong. So here's the thing. In the process of building your body, it is not a sport because it compromises supportive performance. But once you build yourself big and strong, now it's a carryover to every sport. Get it? Every sport. Yeah.
That's what all the data says, is what all the real world says. This is what we see. Okay.
Yeah, look at that.
That's what all the data says, is what all the real world says. This is what we see. You'll get big. And for people who say, but this other guy did this method and he got big too. Yeah, but it wasn't that method. It's the fact that he trained and did some hard sets. Okay? Right? There's more than one way to do a hard set, guys. Oh, man.
Yeah, he did one hard set. Yeah, one hard set.
Yeah, in anything that's a hard set, if you're actually working hard and taking a muscle through a reasonable range of motion.
You don't have to work hard. You have to work smart in this world. See, intelligent people, to get what they want, they work smart. They don't work hard. Everybody knows if you work hard, you don't get anywhere in life. People complain all the time about working hard and they get nowhere. Man, I had a friend, she got a degree, whatever, from university, and she complained. She said, why is it so hard? Everything's so hard. It's supposed to be easy. Because she wasn't working smart at getting what she wanted. She was working hard. It doesn't work like that.
You're going to stimulate some growth. Yeah. Common sense.
You're going to stimulate some growth. Yeah. Okay.
That is not that complicated.
You're going to stimulate more money in your, what do you call it? Your job, your minimum wage job too. You're going to stimulate more money, even though you get the same pay. You're going to stimulate more though, get it? Doing the same thing. If you're looking for a different outcome in your job, I don't think so. That's why people, they're how should I put it? They're desolate. They're just sitting there like zombies in these jobs, these minimum wage jobs. Like in a coffee shop or whatever. They go in there, they serve their coffee, they get minimum wage. And then they complain why they can't pay their rent or food or this or that, whatever. You know what I mean? It's just a slave job. It's a slave job. And this is a lifting slave right here.
It really is not. All right. The problem is when they start talking time under tension, they're talking about trying to do super.
See, when you want more Bitcoin, you take your dollars and you buy more Bitcoin, right? All right. So what do you do when you want more muscle growth? Well, you need something that the satellite cell has. What is that? Nuclei. You need it to donate its nuclei, right? To support further muscle growth. So what do you need it to do? What? To increase in number. So how do you get it to increase in number? You activate it. How do you activate it? By damaging it. How do you damage it? With eccentric overload. Eccentric overload. That's how you do it. And it happen and you do it periodically. It doesn't happen consistently. It happens periodically.
So like we're going all the way back to the 1960s.
You're making an investment in your lifting. When you go to the gym and you focus on progressive overload, eccentric, progressive overload, and eccentric form, and what you're getting there is you're investing in yourself, because you're going to get an influx of these nuclei. But if you come in there waving your arms, eccentric, concentric, 30 days in a row, thinking you're going to get an overload, what is it, nuclei overload? I don't think so. You don't even understand when they say nuclei overload. They mean in the eccentric form. They're not talking about concentric. It's an overload. Listen to the word. Nuclei overload precedes hypertrophy, overload. And then when they say, what do they say in science? Eccentric overload. Eccentric overload, nuclei overload. Where's nuclei come from? When the eccentric gets overloaded, it gets damaged, it activates satellite cell, and then it donates its nuclei. Duh.
With the Vince Garanda 8x8 super slow method. Like, this is very old concept.
Yeah, Vince Garanda. These are nobodies.
Problem is, it doesn't seem to work that well. It's never panned out. When you study it, here's what we find.
It doesn't pan out because it's not based on the real principles of bodybuilding.
A really slow eccentric.
It's based on injecting a needle in your ass and just doing whatever and pretending you have muscles, faking it.
Versus a normal eccentric. It doesn't seem to be any difference in muscle growth. Why? Because he's
normal eccentric? What are you talking about?
Eccentric, for example, is not that important under normal loads.
Yes, it is. Eccentric is the most important. Without eccentric, there's no muscle growth there.
Says people like their eccentrics are critical for growth. Well, they're part of the growth process.
Of course they are. Eccentric is critical. That's what activates the satellite cell, you dumbass. You dumb.
But realistically speaking, unless you're doing eccentric-based training, almost with eccentric overload, and most.
What do you mean eccentric-based training? You can still do concentric and eccentric, but it can only happen periodically. But then you're going to have to work at it a lot harder to get it to damage. You may not get enough damage. I don't know. It's hard to say exactly. Depends on the day, what you're doing there on the day. I don't know.
You are not. Usually requires spotters to help, or it requires cheat reps and then to control these.
No, not really. You don't need spotters or cheat reps to do it. If you're young and already strong, your strength will go up. Your lifting strength will go up very quickly. You understand? Because you're young. Your body responds very fast. So if you're already trained in the gym, lifting and everything, then you can start moving for these adaptations, building muscle, doing a lot of the load on the eccentric, if you understand it. But it's not totally necessary. If you still overwork the muscle, if you use a lot of, like in the beginning, I told you, if it's an overworking of a muscle, it's not overtraining, it's overworking, man. And if you overwork it on the day, it'll get damaged. It'll always get damaged. And then you can use like some complex carbohydrates to assist you in damaging it, to try to get it bigger and stuff like that. That's it. You need a lot of protein.
Then no, not really. Not really. Because we don't get the same fatigue. So they're like, well, we get slow and way down. But then it seems to create a nervous system fatigue that does.
Fatigue? It doesn't cause fatigue. It causes damage. Causes weakness. What are you talking about? Causes micro tears. This guy's dumb.
Doesn't always recruit the muscle fibers the way that we want.
Recruit it? It doesn't do anything. It doesn't recruit. It damages.
And we know that because some of the older studies, even going back 20 years, are finding that when eccentrics, that's the lowering.
What older studies, man? I put them in my community section. Got massive amounts of them. What are you talking about? You're so dumb. This guy doesn't know anything about lifting. Go to school, bro. Go to school, man.
Starts exceeding about 4 seconds, it seems to cause less muscle growth. That's what they noted. And
what are you talking about? If it adapts, if you adapt to the, if your muscles adapt to whatever it is you're doing there now, the eccentric lifts or whatever you're doing there, of course you're not going to get any muscle growth. And it adapts rapidly, and especially if you're a lifting slave like you, coming in volume, performing. You coming in performing every day. That's not bodybuilding. Bodybuilding, if muscles are damaged, they have to go through repair and remodeling. It takes 7 days. The shortest period of time is 7 days.
The reason being because we're getting into peripheral nervous system fatigue very quickly that just stops recruiting muscle fibers. Oh, and here's where it gets trickier.
How does it stop recruiting muscle fibers? Please explain. I love this.
You guys ready?
Yeah, ready.
Yeah, but you get sore from it. We do. You do get sore from really slow eccentrics.
You get pain? Yeah, you get pain from it for 4 days because that's the damage period. You're damaged now. It's telling you you're damaged and you should go and eat and grow your muscles now. Yes, Blaha.
But muscle soreness isn't inside the muscle fibers, is it? Ooh, that's been studied.
There's an inflammatory response, like with everything, because they're damaged. They're micro-damaged.
Let me say that again. DOMS, delayed onset muscle soreness, that soreness you get isn't actually in the muscle fibers.
Yeah? Where is it then? Where is it exactly?
It's in the connective tissue. And
it's in the connective tissue, guys. Yeah, you're going to build more connective tissue. Duh.
Your peripheral nervous system detecting the damage in the connective tissue.
Yeah, the damage. What grows muscles? Damage, you fool. You just said it, damage.
Oh, man.
Oh, man. Oh, man, you're dumb.
So now we're coming back over to, but it has nothing to do with the muscle fibers.
It has everything to do with the muscle fibers. Man, you people know my channel. You've read everything, the information and everything. All eccentric exercise is known to cause widespread muscle damage, bro. And then it causes growth. Everybody knows that.
All right. Same thing. We could argue about faster or slower concentric reps as far as
community section. There's a section even there. It's superior to concentric lifting, eccentric. It's associated with morphological changes, architectural changes, a whole bunch of stuff. The nervous system, everything, recruiting more motor units and nervous and whatever muscles, making you fucking bigger and stronger. Get it? And hypertrophy and everything else. It's superior. What's he talking about? Science tells you everything.
Hypertrophy, fatigue, mechanical tension. We could argue about that all day long.
See, he's been watching my videos. You think I don't know he's been watching my videos? He never brought this up before. He's bringing it up because he's watching my videos.
Problem is we could argue both directions. Here's what I'm saying at the end of the day. So therefore, the amount of tension time itself doesn't matter. It's not that relevant to muscle growth. Not saying it's irrelevant. It's just not as big of a deal as people make it out to be. Therefore, that's why people can train that way and still make good gains, because it's not a usually critical factor whether you choose to do it or not. So it's probably not hurting your gains. It's probably not helping them.
It's not hurting, not helping, whatever.
So again, people say, but this guy did it and he promotes it, his people get it. Well, because he hasn't trained hard. That's it. Probably hasn't.
He doesn't train hard? He promotes it, but he doesn't train hard? What are you talking about? What's Blaha talking about? He has no chest. Look at his whole front. It's completely flat. And he has no arms, no shoulders. He's got nothing. There's nothing going on here.
Correct exercises, probably with the correct amount of volumes, with the correct amount of load. Well, that'll cause pretty good muscle growth.
He doesn't know anything about bodybuilding. He does that crazy powerlifting shit, which is shit. Shit. He doesn't do. He's not a bodybuilder.
Right. But that's what's going on. And at the end,
you think this is progressive overload? How could this be progressive overload? If the weight there on the chains are going down and the load is going off. The load is becoming less. There's less load. Watch when he goes down. There's less load going down.
The growth.
See?
Stimulate.
Look, the load, it relieved. It got lighter and lighter as he went down. Isn't the load supposed to be heavier on the eccentric overload?
A muscle fiber, the ones you want to grow, with enough times, right? Did you get enough total repetitions of hard work in? That's it.
Not necessarily. I know some people that got that and still didn't get damaged because they were adapted.
That's it. That is really what we are aiming for. All right, guys, but that's really all I have to say.
That's what we're aiming for? Man, that made no sense, but whatever. Look at this guy. He's a beautiful lifting slave, bro. He's a beautiful little lifting slave.
On that today, I hope it's been informative, and I'll talk to you guys and gals next time.
Very informative. See you in the next one. Ciao, friends.